What's up, everybody? Are you excited yet? Oh, Crystal Dynamics is starting early. I'm not mad at it. Let's get it. What's up? What's up, everybody? What's up, chat? What's up? We got Braden. I saw Entropy in the building. What's up? What's up, my defenders? We got Tom. We got Ja. What's up, Jordan? What's up? What's up, my Chia? Spider-Man Gaming. What it do? What's up, Roleplex? Day Assassination. What it do? Hey, Tasha. What's up? Look at that screenshot background. That looking clean. Oh yeah, that's clean though. They had to do a. I see they had to do a fresh overlay. I see you, Crystal Dynamics. I like it. I like it. What's up, Aaron? Chris, what it do? What's up, Dan? Garrett, what's up? What's up, Omar? Yeah, we're gonna be seeing a lot of boy and indeed in the chat today, and I am here for it. What's up, Tony? So the stream officially starts at 1 o'clock. I think that's when everyone's going to start rolling in. Should be fun. I think I remember the order. I think Chris Judge is first. He's either at 1 or 1:30. What's up, Jenkins? What's up, LB? Said the stream is skipping for you. I'm not dropping any frames on OBS. Let me put it up on my phone. Looks good to me. Not having any issues from what I can see. We got 70 people in the chat so far. Make sure you guys hit that like button. It helps tremendously and it's 100% free. And subscribe if you're new. I do Marvel's Avengers content every single week. What's up, Jad? In War for Wakanda, you hope there's just a kid in a scene so BP can just say boy. If he just says that to Thor or anybody, I'll be perfectly fine with that. What's up, Eternal? Indeed. Boy, indeed. He was watching your Hawk Bill. Where did you get the Planet Cracker neuronics from? I believe I got that from, I think it drops from the daily villain sectors. But I prefer if I can get the legendary, the one from hold up, the Planet Cracker. Oh, so the legendary version drops from the villain sectors. The exotic version drops from the Mega Hive. And I'm trying to get another one from the Mega Hive because I want Valor and Resolve instead of Might and Precision, but you know how this is. What's up, Tony? Games, what to do? What's going on? Guessing the stream is early. That all for Black Panther? Yeah, apparently when Black Panther is involved, they want to not only be on time, but they want to clean up the background too. I ain't mad at it. Is this the week that the Hive loot changes? What next week? No idea. We'll find. Hopefully we'll find out on the stream. I mean, I definitely want some Black Panther info, but I also I also would love some info on, you know, the game besides, you know, Black Panther lore and what have you. Thank you, Tasha. Appreciate you. Now we got 102 people in the chat. Let's hit 100 likes real quick. Spam up that like button for algorithm purposes. Let's take over the streaming page. Tell everybody that this game is not in fact dead, at least when it comes to Black Panther. What's the priority mission for this week? That was in the blog, James. That's for the multiplayer Mega Hive update, which hasn't happened yet. Have I played the Marvel mobile game? I have not. When will we be able to pick the same heroes? When they do the update. Sometime in the next 2 weeks. Do you think we'll get gameplay of Black Panther? Not until the deep dive, which should be in the next 2 weeks. You don't like the fact that Black Panther has a staff? Black Panther has a spear. He does not have a staff. Likes are free indeed. That is right. They're free and they make a huge difference. For some reason, if you hit that like button and share, YouTube really likes it. Only exotics this week? Yes. Same deal. Guaranteed exotics from the Mega Hive. Chance at an exotic from Tachyons and Last Avenger Standing. What's up, nerd? Good to see you again. Take the stream off my phone because it's going to murder my battery. Bloody Reckless. Oh, I remember you, Bloody. You're from Doom Killer Agency's channel. You're the moderator. I appreciate the support. Hey, Gutton Bush, thank you for becoming a defender. Welcome to the team. Defenders in the chat, spam up those emotes for our guy Bush. I'm ready for boy indeed. I'm so hyped for the DLC. I am hyped as well. I cannot wait to throw a spear through an aim robot. That's going to be awesome. I'm just ready to say boy a lot and randomly break out into a Wakandan accent. Do you think we're going to see new content? Define new content. Thank you, Tom. Thank you, Dan. Appreciate you, James. Very appropriate. Wakanda forever. What's up, Richard? How you doing? I thought you were going to butcher your name, but wasn't too far off. Hey, I do my best. Black Tiger, I hope they put that original concept costume in the challenge card. I hope so. I know that they're going to have some good stuff in it regardless, because it's Black Panther. They're going to have some good stuff on the challenge card. They're going to have some good stuff in the marketplace. I have no concerns with that. Thanks for the advice on a precision on a ranged hero to clear beating the odds. Oh, you're welcome. What kind of news think we're going to get? In terms of relevant news to the game, I'm hoping we get a release date for, because there's only 2 weeks left in the month, so we need a release date for the OLT update, and we need a release for the deep dive where they're going to show Black Panther gameplay. So one of those two or both of those are very important. So if they put Kratos and Avengers along with Black Panther, I wouldn't be mad at that. I think 6 to 8 hours of kind of gameplay would be nice. I don't think they're going to show the entire DLC. Spears Black Panther's range, possibly. I'm pretty sure it's his assault heroic. I don't know what his generic range is going to be. He was still trying to find Bone Shaker damage boost. You're going to beat the Mega Hive today. Yeah, it's hard out here. That RNG is not kind to us. If he has a cape costume, it'll be great. I'm sure he'll have at least one. Hope they'll add his Civil War suit. Well, he only has what, 2 MCU suits so far, so one of them is going to pop up in the game. New content as in game footage, takedowns, or skins. None of those are happening today. His Civil War skin is a must. A lot of people like that skin. I see it. Wakanda forever. Wakanda forever. Subtiversal. Imagine at the end here is a look at upcoming Spider-Man. Yeah, that's never happening. We're waiting for Sony. But now that we know Spider-Man is like at the end of the year, it's not happening anytime soon. Balance point correction. Yeah, right. The DLC itself. Yes, I'm hearing 6 to 8 hours. To me, that's a very generous estimate. I would expect 4. You want the classic cap, the classic Black Panther skin with the cape? Indeed. Do you think we get Thor Endgame or Infinity War skin? The Thor Endgame skin is coming. We just don't know what is coming with. Hey man, down hype. Joe, just watch you play. I'm not re-downloading this game until December. All good, Purity. I understand there are some people that just want that Spider-Man, but I personally don't care about Spider-Man at all. I've played a lot of Spider-Man games. They're great. I want Black Panther. Give the man 2 M9 Berettas like in the comic. Don't think he'll be having guns. Then they'll really be bringing up the Black Widow comparisons. Been seeing a lot of fake articles about the 25-hour. I've seen some corrections, but yeah, that's still floating around a bit. But to be clear to everyone, the Black Panther DLC is not 25 hours long. Not even close. That was a mistake by EW. They're starting early today. I mean, they're not really starting early today. They're starting the stream starting soon early today. Because they started this like 15 minutes ago. And it's now almost 1 o'clock, which is when the stream was supposed to start. Anyway, but glad they're punctual. You're actually playing Witcher today. I still have not played that game. You expect 4.5? That sounds about right. As was said, that Crystal Dynamics has signed a contract with Marvel Studios. So do you think that we'll get MCU Black Panther? We've already gotten Black Panther. We've already gotten MCU skins, and they already are saying that we're going to get MCU skins when Black Panther comes out. So it's pretty safe to assume that we're getting a Black Panther MCU skin. We just don't know which one. Winter Soldier isn't coming out till next year. Spider-Man probably will get an MCU skin. I would imagine. What it do in salutations? Indeed, Brandon. What it do? Salutations. Just want challenge points fixed. Indeed. Hope he has his kinetic daggers. That would be a very cool ranged option. Need to update on what's going on with the Odinson today. That would be nice. I would assume the Thor skin is tied to whatever content update they drop. If this is the trailer, if this is the Black Panther trailer, it better be the.
I applaud your efforts to connect with your roots, but
yeah, you know what? I ain't gonna play. I ain't even gonna do that because Crystal Dynamics always plays the Black Panther trailer, and they always forget to play the DMCA safe version. They forget that people actually still stream this game in their streams. So I got it. I wasn't even gonna wait for it. I'm just mute that. The 25-hour thing. It was a misprint in the article about Chris Judge. They made it sound like the Black Panther DLC itself was going to be 25 hours. Hope Thor is not fat. Me too, Chris. Me too. Spider-Man Black Panther might make this game very popular, but Black Panther will bring it to light. The most important thing is that they actually make the game enjoyable and functional, because Black Panther is definitely going to bring a lot of people back. Same with Spider-Man. So when people do come back, we got to make sure that they come back to something good. A functional loot system, end game content, bug fixing, all that. What I think of the Loki ending, I thought it was excellent. I was worried about how they were going to end it because I was loving the show so far, and they nailed it. Love it. You're looking at Cap's perks, and he has the worst critical damage perk in the game. They tied it to shield block attacks. Yeah, Cap's. Yeah, usually they do. For the most part, the combat is great, but the perks for the character, for Captain America in particular, is pretty awesome. Hey,
Friday. It is. It definitely is. I am loving it. I'm super excited. People in chat already saying Mr. Judge, Chris Judge. They're excited. They're excited.
He needs his mic on. What's up, Mr. Briggs? Can I get his mic to work? Should I get the audio to work?
And the chat goes what?
He's muted. The chat goes, he's muted. We can't hear him.
Chris, they're saying you're muted.
Are you muted?
Muted?
I might have muted. I think we're good. Can you hear us?
They're saying there's no audio and they can't hear him.
Yeah, we can hear you.
I am definitely not muted.
Now I can hear him. What is happening?
I think it was on my end. I think we can hear. They can hear you now.
Okay, yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks, Andy.
Sorry, you might have to do that again.
Okay.
Thanks, Andy.
Boy. Indeed.
All right.
There
we go. There we go.
He did it. He did the thing.
Okay. Sorry about that.
He did the
That was
thing.
on my end.
He did the thing. And Andy almost messed it
now
up.
the chat is actually going wild. All right. So obviously we have Chris Judge here. He is the voice of Black Panther in Marvel's Avengers.
He said the thing from the
excited.
He said the thing from the thing.
Questions on
He said the thing from the thing.
On Facebook, on Instagram, and we're just gonna get going. We also have Evan Narcisse and Hannah McLeod joining us a little bit later at like 10:30ish. But Chris, we have a lot of questions for you.
All right, let's get to them.
Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
All right. So first one is, how does it feel to be voicing Black Panther?
It's great. I really had some. Well, I have a definitive list of roles that I would be willing to do, which is very short. And Black Panther was definitely one of them. I never thought I would get the opportunity to do it, but it's been wonderful. It's been fantastic. It's been an honor.
Oh, it's great to hear. All right. So the next, go ahead.
Okay. Next question. What was your approach or inspiration for playing Black Panther? Like, did you do any research into the character, his origins, that kind of thing?
I didn't need to do a lot of research. What a lot of people don't know is I am a nerd. And so I started collecting comics in the 60s.
Just like my dad.
From that standpoint, I was very familiar with the character. From an actor's standpoint, because I wanted to my version of my interpretation of T'Challa to be my own, to be it judged on its own merits.
I made a joke.
I really didn't listen to anyone else's take on it. I wanted to be completely kind of autonomous. And having said that, the work I did do was with my wonderful, I hesitate to use the word coach because she was so much more my voice mentor, my spiritual guru, Miss Beth McGuire, who we spent
Names Iversal.
months.
So Randy.
Really trying to dial in the accent. And Beth was also the vocal coach on the film. So
Wow.
I not only hopefully learned the accent, but the origins of the accent, how it came about, and it was a very interesting ride because I'm not a voice artist. Like, they really are artists. They have a library of voices that they can do. I've pretty much got this, and I really don't ever venture out of the kind of basement of my voice. And with Beth, a lot of it was because I didn't want him. I mean, obviously, it's always going to be some sort of me, but I didn't want him to sound like any characters that I previously played. And I couldn't do that if I stayed in the bottom of my vocal range.
I see.
I need Chris Judge's voice to be my father.
All right. So, what were some of the challenges of playing Black Panther, if any, at all?
Well, some of the challenges were kind of recording in isolation. It was really the first time I had done a leading character kind of on my own without any of the other cast present, and due to obviously COVID, we were forced to record that way. So I actually recorded from home, and it's a very different process when you don't have the other actors / characters there to kind of vibe with, play off. So that was challenging. I found that very challenging.
Layla?
How did playing Black Panther differ from some of your other roles?
It's interesting. So I like to physically try to be closer to the character that I'm playing. So my previous characters are big, huge, muscly characters. So I worked out quite a bit to get bigger. And one of the things that I found was with T'Challa being obviously athletic, obviously muscular, but he was lithe and quick and springy, and a much different physicality than that. And I was well into I don't know if it's called the COVID 20, but I was probably into my COVID 40 pounds, and I found it difficult to kind of vocally portray the physicality of someone who was lither, more quicker, agile. So I actually I lost, I think, 32 pounds.
Wow.
While we're just because it made me feel different. I carried myself differently, being lighter, being weight-wise.
I need to lose 32 pounds.
Interesting. So you really put your all into everything.
Well, at my age, and I've been fortunate to have the career I have. I've just vowed to not ever do anything that I don't believe in 100%, and that I'm not 100% committed to. And I have always believed that the physicality of a character is a very vital ingredient into being able to get into the headspace of it.
They don't feel any excitement.
Yeah, that's.
To be fair, that's how they always look
some
in
dedication.
town.
That's amazing. Thank you so much.
Oh,
Especially Layla.
For all your roles.
Oh, well, thank you very much.
Layla had zero emotion.
So this is from a player, Just Tank Man. What is your favorite thing about Black Panther as a character in everything, all mediums?
that he's not only, very often we get
Hey, what's up, Doom?
What a character is able to do physically and not intellectually. I love that he's not only this physically dominant character, but his intellect and his quickness, and he has this sense of humor and lightness about him that I absolutely love. And one of my favorite, not only the relationships with people, and I got to say Wakanda forever.
Yes, confirmation. Wakanda forever is in the game.
Announced I can wear all my cool Wakanda stuff.
Oh, nice.
Because I remember when I first when we first started doing it, when I was first hired, I felt weird, like, because everything in Hollywood's so hush hush these days. I felt like I couldn't wear any of my Black Panther stuff, or people will go, "Why are you wearing that?"
Because the rumors might start or something. Post like a picture of you on Twitter just for funsies. I didn't even realize you had a Black Panther shirt on. Nice, I love it.
Yeah,
Layla very clearly. Layla always looks like she doesn't want to be there.
Since getting the job, that I've actually worn some Black Panther stuff.
And you're free to do it. You're like, it's out there. I'm gonna wear this on a live stream on Zoom.
U22 in the chat.
That's great. I love it. I love it.
Yeah, I think the most I've had in chat was like 280.
All right. Speaking of people, what was it like working with our team at Crystal Dynamics?
It was fantastic. The whole world obviously was going through a very rough time, and to be able to have interactions with people, but also to be able to talk about what was going on in the world, what was going on in our country, what was that was not, and I don't want to get away from how great they are at what they do, but the emotional support through a lot of heavy stuff that was going on was it was immeasurable how much it helped me to get through a lot of stuff.
Wow.
But yeah, it's and the amount of care that they have and reverence for this character, for Wakandans, for it's great. You like for the dedication of other people that you work with to be equal to yours, and definitely had that, and their reverence and respect and knowledge of not only T'Challa but Wakanda in general was fantastic.
Yeah, I know a lot of our
200 people in the chat. Spam that like button, guys.
Every time they worked with you.
Let's make sure everyone can see this.
Anthony Beale, who's a big fan of yours, he
no problem, Doom.
He was like going crazy, and when I was typing to him, I'm like, I had a session with Chris Judge today. I'm like, I can't wait to meet him, and we were all
Layla
like, man, I'm so jealous.
Where's your send? Who usually sends for Layla?
The thing is, he kept it a secret until I think our next to last record. I think it was our next to last or second to last record, where he just full on and I was like, man, thank you for not telling me till now, because that's kind of creepy, dog. No.
You're like, that's. You're like, now that I know.
No, he was great. He was great.
Anthony, if you're watching, shout out to you.
Shout out, brother.
Shout out. All right, so this one is what does Wakanda mean to you?
I'll smash that like button, people.
Aspiration. as an older black actor, because I don't ever want to be non-committal about I'm black. I've been around since the 60s. So to have a society that is technologically advanced, intellectually advanced, meant everything. When the media entertainment portrayed people of color a certain way for so long, to have this, one of the reasons that I took this job was not only because I love the character and it meant a lot to me, but it was also that I still have in my mind the hope at some premiere or some event, I will have a chance to say thank you to Ryan, say thank you to a lot of the team that got the Black Panther projects done, because I've literally watched different types of Black Panther projects tried to get made since probably the 80s. And
Wow.
to finally have it in all its various forms is wonderful.
Wow.
And to be a part of it it's truly humbling. It's really humbling.
Layla's clearly high, guys. Leave her alone.
Thank you. Thank you.
She is
for
clearly
answering that
blazed.
question.
Absolutely.
I
Wait,
too-
do I have a choice to not answer?
You
Probably
know,
not.
well,
I mean,
I too am black.
I mean, you could, I guess, if you really didn't want to.
All right, here's a
Wakanda
question
means much to me
from,
as well.
One of our viewers, Carrot Scraps, who asked, as an actor, how do you approach a new character?
Internally, I try to. It was a different process with this one. Just knowing that I didn't have the rest of the cast to play off, I had to be more invested in the preparation. With previous stuff, I did my own work and brought that to the table. But one of the great things about working with Beth beforehand was that we got to explore T'Challa's relationships with other characters and really hash them out. Generally, that's something I would wait to do on set to see where it lands, to see where your interaction in person
This seems chilly
is
F.
with the other characters.
Hey, it's the
And
other guy.
because we didn't have that ability to even have like read-throughs together to do any of that, I had to do all that work on my own. Well, not on my own, with Beth McGuire. And so that was a completely different process for me.
Too early.
Evan popped in there a little bit.
Chris seems chill.
Evan, it's okay.
Andy seems nervous.
I know. Hey, Evan, how's it
Layla
going?
looks dead inside.
We'll talk to Evan and
knowing that Evan was involved.
Yeah.
See, a lot of times just on different stuff that I work on, I always go, such and such character would never say that. With Evan being involved, I couldn't do that.
Hi, Evan. You're live right now, Evan. By the way.
No, I know. So I decided to come back.
That's cool. That's cool.
What a new shirt.
Yeah. How are you, Evan?
Wakanda
I'm good.
forever.
Hold on. I gotta mute the Twitch because I was watching the stream.
Wait. I wanted to see what was in Evan's background, because that tells so much about people. What's in their background?
I see the Black Panther
Okay,
mask.
I'm gonna tilt the camera a little bit.
I can't wait.
So it's like it's a little black nerd shrine. I got
awesome.
you can see the Miles
Beautiful.
Morales soundtrack.
Wow.
Right there. Hold on. Yeah, right there. There's Miles Morales. That's an trade paperback of Icon. Milestone Media,
Wow.
their superhero character.
Uh,
That is a book on a tribe called Quest by Hanif Abdurraqib, which is
what?
amazing. Yo, you got to read that book. It's amazing. That's a Black Panther helmet that a friend of mine 3D printed for me.
Oh, damn.
I know. I had to.
Can I have one?
That was my reaction.
That's The Art of Making Miles Morales. I wrote an introduction for that, a forward for that.
Wow.
That's that is Art of the Movie
Evan's
book.
forehead.
Signed by somebody very special. I'm not at liberty to divulge. Last year I broke my hip, and that showed up in the hospital.
Shout out.
Wow.
And that's a French edition. Sorry, I'm like this is my camera works terrible, but that's a French edition to Rise of the Black Panther, which is this beautiful hardcover.
Evan is based.
One of the artists, Paul Renaud,
For real, bro.
Bought to New York.
Evan is
a couple years
based.
ago. And it was a wonder. It was a joy to work with Paul. But yeah, anyway, I just want to say hi to Chris. I didn't know you were an old school comic book nerd, so hopefully one day soon we can get together and talk comics.
Oh, Craig.
I'd love to do
What to
that.
do, Craig?
I would love it. I would love it.
Am I invited?
Sure, Andy.
We're enjoying. We're enjoying
you
this
know,
black
right.
excellence right now.
Okay, all right, okay. I think
A lot of black
I think
star
we'll go with
power in
that.
the room right now.
I'll just be in the corner, just so you know, like observing. That
I
sounds
just
really
want to say
creepy.
hi. I don't want to cut into Chris's time. It's been such a joy to have you voicing T'Challa in this game, and I just can't wait
Stream
for
still
it to
working for me, Doom.
performance and
Oh.
the world that these guys have been building over at Crystal.
No drop frames on
So
OBS.
Thank you so much.
All right,
It's
and
been
I'm
such a
gonna
joy.
pop out.
Oh, you can stay if you want.
Okay, I'm gonna stay and be quiet. I'm gonna mute.
Okay. We have a bunch of questions for you later. So, Chris, I think we kind of delved into this. I think you were like leading into it, but so did you find the voice like easy, hard to do, challenging? Like how many different layers went into it?
Oh, a lot. The great and wonderfully annoying thing about Beth, she let me get away with absolutely nothing, and her ear is so finely tuned. She knew exactly when I was trying to cheat. And by cheating, I mean that to get to certain places in my vocal register, you have to bring the air from certain parts of your body and hit it off certain parts of the palate. You know, it's all that stuff that I had never really explored, and she made me very specific. And so there weren't, we would, the script was voluminous. So when you're doing takes of stuff and you really felt it, and sometimes Beth would go, we're gonna have to go again.
Super blunt, just like nah, again.
Being a voice actor is tough.
But I love her so much. And this is not about race. This is about, it's the genesis of the dialect was the Xhosa language. Now this is a white woman who got into her car and drove across Africa by herself.
Wow.
So it lent a different weight to when she would say, this is where this came from, this is where this came from, this is, because she didn't read about it. She went and did it, and her spirit.
I want to try it.
And her openness to her emotions and to, as I said before, everything that was going on in real culture.
Respect for her.
We would talk sometimes for hours.
Wow.
We would and just
even I wouldn't drive to Africa. Let's keep it a buck.
She will be a soul friend for the rest of my life. It's just a wonderful, wonderful woman, and but a taskmaster. and so there were recordings that she made for me that I would listen to, because initially I knew I didn't want to do a voice match, and I was very adamant about that. So one of the things that I kind of already had in the bank was Forrest when he did Last King of Scotland. So that was my own kind of base going into it.
Interesting.
Which I quickly had to get rid of.
Oh, okay, never mind. I'm like, that's interesting. I'm gonna try hearing for that. Okay.
Because her ear for regional African accents, it's incredible. It's almost unnerving. And then part of it came from Mandela. And so at times she would say, nope, we need to go again. You fell into your Mandela. And I'm, but she's just wonderful. She's just a wonderful human being. And I was very, very lucky and forever affected by being able to work with Beth.
Oh.
Don't hate on the floral print.
Love you, Beth. You got there.
I still have to work on my Wakandan.
Oh, that's awesome.
It will get
we have
better.
Another question from a user. This one's from Cute Little Chaos Kitty. What are you most proud of in your performance?
Kitty. Wow. I'm sorry. Say it again.
There's a lot going on there.
Yeah.
Hey, Kitty. What were you most proud of in your performance?
Ooh, I think, wow, that's a tough one. I'm proud of it all. Just that we not just got through it, and when I say we, it's we as the collective. I mean, because my performance is the sum of not just my hard work, everyone's hard work. I mean, the words were great, the scenes were great. There was so much there, and I'm very stubborn. I have problems giving in to things, and what I'm proud of is giving into the truth of a lot of these moments that happen in this, and being able to walk in the truth of this character for the last year and a half, I guess it's been. So I hesitate to say what I'm proudest of, because I'm proud to have or to be this character, but I'm also honored.
Mm.
So it's more about the honor of being this character.
Wow. All right. That is 30 minutes. If you want to hang out, if you want to hang out, go. That's totally fine. Hi, Hannah. How are you? It's a party. But yeah, I know you're super, super busy. So I guess like, thank you so much, Chris.
Thank you.
Really, because of Chris Judge.
Thank you. You know, maybe I would love once this is out, if we could maybe do another one of these with the fans and hear what they think and thought, and just maybe hear from them about it. You know, I think that'd be cool.
Oh yeah, I have definitely plans for that already, and I really want it to happen too.
Awesome.
So yes, but yeah, on behalf of like just I'm speaking
Layla
like
smoking that Wokeisha.
I'm not.
That
But thank you
Wokeisha.
so much. I'm a big fan. I already told you this earlier.
Yeah,
We are
Layla
so
got that
happy and so
loud.
honored to have you as our Black Panther.
It's mad loud where Layla at right now.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Layla be on that high volume.
Thank you, Crystal Dynamics and Marvel, everyone for letting me be part of this, and to all the fans, I really hope you love this as much as we love doing it.
Boy.
Chris, thank you again. You know, I mean, you were just talking about the legacy of this character and what it means, and you know, like, it's a humbling thing, right? When you approach it, right, and you're like, you realize you're going to be in this gigantic stream of story that's been going on for like, gosh, almost 60 years. Like,
yeah.
So, you know, again, thank you so much for your commitment, for, you know, approaching it with like some real soul and some heart. And you know, can't wait for you guys, everybody else, to see and play this. Thank you so much again, Chris, for your time.
Thank you, Evan. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you, and thank you, everybody. And you will love it.
Yeah, who is Hannah? I have no idea who that is.
Take care.
Bye, Chris.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Thank you.
Now we got to follow that up.
I know you guys. Are you ready to follow that up?
Am I fighting aimbots today?
No
I am
pressure.
not.
No pressure at all. No pressure whatsoever. How are you guys?
Good.
Nice. I'm gonna switch out these nameplates. There we go. Hi, Hannah. How are you?
Assume she's a dev.
Oh, okay. Anyways, all right. So
Why she have cat ears?
thank you, Chris, so much. We can't wait for you guys to hear his version of Black Panther
But
in
Ryan,
our Marvel's
you
Avengers.
miss Chris Judge.
But now we're going to transition to this next segment with Evan and
I'm good.
Hannah. I think Hannah might be having a little bit of audio issues. I don't quite know.
Well,
Yeah, we can't hear you, Hannah.
this isn't a deep dive, bro. What are you talking about?
But we'll start with.
This is
we'll
never.
start with
This
Evan.
was
How
not
about
supposed to be a
that?
deep dive, idiot button.
That works for me.
All right. So, you are our narrative consultant. What does that mean?
Basically, it means I help with story, right? So from top to bottom, how what are the game mechanics? We're hearing some ambient audio from you now, Hannah. So like, what are the game mechanics? How can the story, the narrative design, like reinforce the game mechanics, right? How can the game mechanics inform the game design, right? So you know how to hook those two things together really tightly. And
Looks like a 9th grade Zoom meeting.
So you know that's everything from.
I mean, that's literally every
this
Zoom
plot point
meeting.
makes sense, given the things that the character can do in the game. Given the things that the character can do in the game, how can we make the gameplay more interesting or differentiated? You know, what are the character relationship dynamics? You know, like why do these people hate each other again? How can we drive that home more? You know, what's their relationship to the game world? You know, what do they do when they're not doing superhero or adventurer stuff? You know, like, so it's kind of thinking about the story that the game is trying to tell holistically. Thinking about the game design as part of that. They're not two separate things. And, you know, basically,
Miles
it
Morales
can
was
be
that
everything
gas.
from reading the whole script of a game and giving feedback. It can be writing a side quest, you know, coming up with ideas of other side quests. It can be figuring out a character's backstory and writing their lines. So it depends on the particular studio, the game, the project, what they are trying to achieve, what they feel they need help with, what I feel they need help with. It changes like with each different project, but with this one, it was pretty deep and involved. What did you say, Hannah?
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Who was the
Awesome.
woman?
I have new. Yes,
Chris
I
was speaking
have
about?
headphones that both have ears on them because it's me. Yeah.
His
Definitely.
dialect consultant.
I mean, I feel like Evan directed
He's
me
louder than
a
what
lot, and
Layla
the
be
writers
smoking.
as well on the team. Just in terms of remembering things about the character that are core to who he is, especially and I don't think the movie gets into this as much, which is probably why it's so important to hone in on, is his scientist side, his intellectual side, because I think they lean in the movie very much on Shuri being the tech person and the science person, but it's so core to his character in the comics that he is intelligent and technologically gifted, and he'll upgrade his own suits and he'll come up with his own things. And so it was always important to make sure he was approaching everything from that mindset. He's not just a he's not just
Thanks,
a jock.
Doom. I appreciate you.
he's not just going pummeling things and punching stuff. He really
You have
does
a good
approach
stream.
things as
You'll get
someone
there.
who likes to thoroughly think through things and to kind of examine them and pick them apart. And so that was probably the biggest note Evan continually had me like thinking of is just, you got to remember that T'Challa is not just a superhero. He is an incredibly intelligent man. So yeah.
Nice.
And she listened.
He did.
The next question pretty much just,
Oh,
piggybacks directly
126
off,
likes. Let's see if we
what
can
was
get
it
hit
like
200
working together
likes.
for both of you.
That's the next goal.
Awful. Okay, you heard it here first, everyone.
200 likes, people.
No,
Let's see
it
if we
was
get it.
amazing. When they told us that Evan was going to work with us, I think just about everybody in the studio flipped out. We have a lot of big fans. And so we actually brought Evan to the studio so he could see some of the stuff we were working on, and also so we could just talk to him. And we had a lot of people going, can we come into the room too? Like, can we sit in on this discussion? Because we really all, just want to hear his brain. I think I took a dozen pages of notes that day of just like, and it wasn't always stuff that was specifically having to do with like the plot points of the story. It was really just talking about all of the characters in Wakanda as people and what's important to remember for those characters and how to do them justice. I think that was something that was so important to us, is that we did these characters justice. And I feel very grateful that we've had Evan, because it gives us the confidence to really explore the stories inside Wakanda in a way that I don't think we would have had if Evan wasn't working with us.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I mean, for my part, it was really fun, watching the story change and kind of evolve over the course of the development of this expansion was fascinating and fun. And being able to like help, shape that evolution was great too. So yeah, some of the stuff like Hannah said about, the various characteristics of T'Challa as a personality, that was good. But it's also, like one of the things that was in the forefront of my mind, and the whole team for sure, is like, this is one of the first times that people will be able to return to Wakanda en masse, after the movie, we saw a vision of
It had shaped like an infinity stone.
Captured
Bruh.
people's hearts and minds, and there was pressure about following.
I can't unsee that now.
Also, like, okay, this is a chance to kind of manifest a unique.
He said my man Evan got that mind stone head.
As a country, as a culture,
Bruh.
as characters. So I think that was the most exciting thing for me, was like, these guys had really thought about, okay, what does Wakanda history look like? How do they honor that history? And you see that in the architecture.
Said he got a tesseract.
This is version of Wakanda looks. And then you think about, okay, what's different about this T'Challa? And to me, he's very different. His personality is different than.
Yeah, Tofi. He wrote the Miles Morales game.
I think they've kind of staked out.
He's written for Black Panther before.
And you are smiling. So what is the chat saying? I'm
I turned it off. I didn't want the stress.
No, they were laughing when Hannah said it was awful.
Oh yeah.
That his head looked like a tactagon.
Clearly.
Oh, snap.
So
y'all wrong for that.
What were your influences?
Y'all
in
wrong for
building
that.
The narrative for our version of Wakanda. Any specific?
I mean, I have specific comic runs that I could probably reference.
At least she's not like Layla.
Interestingly, and I don't want to get into why, the Flags of Our Fathers run, where Cap comes to Wakanda during World War II, ended up being quite influential in how we crafted the backstory for our characters. I had never heard of that run, and it's very fascinating to see a different Black Panther because you're so used to seeing T'Challa. So to have Azuri and see that kind of background, it really hit home how important it is to have a set history in mind when you're writing this character, because he comes with all of the history behind it. So you have to be very clear, okay, in our version of Wakanda, this is the history, this is how it's led up to here, here's how these things happened. Rise of the Black Panther also, very much so. I think in addition to the Wakandan history that sort of sits on everything, the family history of T'Challa also really influences everything he does, because there's these key tentpole moments in T'Challa's life that influence who he is as a leader, and so it was very important for
You're
us
not a man
to
genius
see,
button.
you know, which of those
Stop the
things
cap.
established in the comics we wanted to
You're
take,
many
and which
things.
we
A
wanted
man
to
is not one of
adjust
them.
so that we got T'Challa to the point that he is in our game. So those would be two big ones for me.
For me, I'm a huge Christopher Priest fan. So the work that he did on the character in that title in 1998 is influential to me, and I think everybody who's written Black Panther afterwards. And, you know, in particular,
They answer questions from the people who always
probably three
compliment the game
storylines, Enemy of the State 1 and 2, where, you know,
and never say anything negative.
Basically, Wakanda.
If anything, it's shill bias.
Atlantis and the Kingdom of Lemuria, which is populated by a genetic offshoot of humanity called deviants. They all come to the brink of war, and Magneto gets involved. So, like, one of the things that I love so much about the Priest run is that, like, he really helped develop this idea of what I call, like, superpowered statecraft, right? It's like, okay, yeah, you know how
Stan Lee wouldn't let that happen.
Like, countries may
Yeah, you've never read a comic book, bro.
And two countries that are at war may kind of have disagreements. You know, in the Marvel universe, you know, these countries have superpowers and they have super advanced technology, and, you know, they might not necessarily want to abide by the let's play nice and be diplomatic rules. What happens when, like, you know, superpowered nations and superpowered rulers for nations almost come to blows? And I think that that's an idea that Priest explores so well in his run. So those two storylines. There was another storyline where Claw comes back and they have kind of another really intense reckoning, and T'Challa loses his control a little bit, and you see just how viscerally the kind of blood vengeance that he seeks against Claw affects him. You know,
Mad, they out here roasting Evan.
can tip him over the edge because,
Evan's awesome. They out here roasting him because of his head.
he poses. So, you know, those storylines, you know, I love Ta-Nehisi Coates' run on Black Panther a lot. I think he really delves into emotional dynamics of what it means to be a king, how heavy that duty weighs on you, you know, and what it means when the people you rule view you as something other than human. You know, they view the Black Panther as like the living symbol of the
Idiot Button is basically the mascot.
that comes with like a lot of
He's
weight.
like our
So I think
pet.
those are some things from the comics that
More
we
like a
try
stray
to bring
cat.
to the game.
Just comes, hangs out,
Nice.
pees on the ground, and leaves.
Layla.
Right, sorry, I just started thinking about, you know, like
Up, Darth.
that question you posed about, like, you know, what does it mean to be a king and like the emotional dynamics. Off in my head, just thinking about that.
We're doing it all the time, so
Yes, for real. Yeah.
Bro, they're roasting.
So what is it like writing for a game that's
Bad.
continuously evolving and ongoing?
Street
Did
saying
that-
Evan's head got
Did that
curves.
like ongoingness aspect of it factor into your writing? Is that something you took into account?
Oh, absolutely. And Evan's up to date on the game too. He was just talking to us about Clint the other day.
Nice.
Yeah. It helps that the narrative team very much works as a collaborative. Like I there's been a couple articles that have called me the narrative lead on Wakanda, and I wouldn't consider myself that, because our whole team worked very much together on the project, and it's often hard for us to remember who did what part. And Keanu and Nicole
Oh,
and
God.
Jess all contributed to that story together. And the usefulness of us working as a team like that is it meant that we
So it
knew
looked like a
what was going
teardrop,
on the other
bro.
packs, even though they were being developed simultaneously. And so we could make sure that everything fell in line together, and
Oh
we're
my God.
addressing this thing that happened during when we introduced Kate and stuff like that. I really appreciate having a narrative team that is so communicative.
God.
Like we're they're on Slack right now talking to me. So we make
So
sure that we're
unfortunate,
very
bro.
much in constant communication. And Evan was getting stuff from all of us that we were writing and working on.
My man got a raisin
out,
head.
how does this
That's so
affect
messed up.
the world at large, the bigger storyline having to do with AIM, how we were going to use various villains, and that sort of thing. So it's tough only in the sense that any chess
Yo, he was
move we
getting
do
he was
is
getting
gonna
roasted,
affect
bro.
all of the others, and so we just
That's
want to
so
make sure that they're all in line with each other. But it's because we all work on everything that it's not quite as daunting as it could be.
Nice. Okay. So, what makes our version of Wakanda different than ones that might exist in other mediums?
They look like the main character from Soul.
That's a hard question.
Yeah.
I'll start
Bro,
on
he
that a little
do.
bit.
Okay.
They're not. This
He
version
do,
of Wakanda
though.
is not quite as isolated as the ones in
Hold
the
up.
media. There was an attempt at establishing diplomatic relations before A-Day, so their existence is known to some people in the world. The exact coordinates, debatable. Are they inviting anybody in? No, definitely not. So I think this version of Wakanda is not just a kind of like whispered myth or legend. Like the people in higher echelons of political power know about it. Maybe does your average American citizen? Maybe not. Or they don't want to believe it. So I would say that from the kind of outsider perspective, the rest of the world, that's one major difference. I also think because of some of the changes that we made to this version of T'Challa's backstory, the political mood in the country is probably a little bit different. T'Challa himself is different. And I'm gonna probably keep on beating that drum for as long as we talk about this, because this version of T'Challa, I think, is very different, more arrogant and more aloof, and probably a little bit more aggro, more aggressive.
Yeah.
So, and I think that trickles down to the rest of the country, right? Like our king's a badass. He's managed to keep us safe, and he's got a really strong will, and the threat that Claw poses, which is the biggest threat that this version of Wakanda has ever faced, it makes T'Challa and everybody around him rethink his approach, his personality, and so I think again, the average Wakanda citizen in this game probably trusting their king a lot, and they've never seen him kind of falter or reconsider himself. So that probably makes them have, as citizens, a confidence in his abilities that is probably an extreme confidence that then gets shaken by an extreme threat.
There's definitely a lot of reverence toward T'Challa, I think, in our Wakanda because of that. He's less collaborative than we may have seen him in other places. He's much more, this is my job, this is the thing I have to do, this is the weight on me. So that's definitely true. I think it's also important to note that he's a lot older than necessarily he was in the movie. He's not new to being king. He's been king for quite a while. And so that comes with it sort of a confidence of experience. So that makes it quite a bit different. I think we still wanted to draw from Wakanda all of these important characters, like Okoye
all y'all
and
raw.
Salvatore, who's a comic book character that we pulled for the,
y'all
the
ain't,
game.
y'all
I
ain't
really
right,
love.
bro. Y'all are not right.
So we still grounded it in the comics, but we wanted our T'Challa to be in a place where he didn't think he needed the Avengers.
Y'all are messed up.
And that he's been doing it on his own for so long that there's no reason for him to think that he's ever going to come across something where he might want other people to join forces with him. And that also contributes a lot to his relationship with Shuri in our game, which I think is very different from pretty much any other
they gotta cast them.
version of their relationship. There's a wedge between them, due to a lot of that backstory that you'll get from playing the game.
Yeah.
Trying really hard not to spoil anything.
Yeah.
But there's
never
a
gonna
wedge
see this.
between them due to some of the stuff that's happened in their past that they're going to be spending some time working on in this pack.
Awesome.
Oh.
Oh my god.
Here's another question that will test your unspoiling metal. How was it writing our versions of Black Panther, Shuri, Okoye, and Claw?
It was Chris Judge leave. Y'all know how to act.
Okay.
We're testing you guys. This is a test.
All
Well,
right.
I'll start by
Say you're about to be in the
answering about
marketplace.
Claw.
Go ahead.
Again, this version of Claw is different too. Like in the comics we've seen Claw as a would-be colonizer, as a somebody who's basically out to kind of steal this amazing natural resource of vibranium from Wakanda. The movie kind of put him as more of a mercenary who was only out for his own profit.
He gets old trolling Layla.
And ran afoul of a very
everything is
aggressive
that can be said about Layla has been
warrior
said.
nation. Here, he too is more of a scientist, right? He's not leaning on anybody else to make the gadgets and technology that he.
Why is it so early? Because people are busy.
Coming from him. I mean, he is in partnership with AIM, so they provide him with support. But this is clearly a vendetta that he's been chasing his whole life. And that's a breadcrumb. That's not a spoiler.
Yep.
I'm counting on you to keep me honest, Hannah.
Will do.
So yeah, the Claw is different in that way. Shuri, I think, in previous versions of the T'Challa and Shuri relationship, you've seen sibling rivalry. In the comics, Shuri is mad aggressive. She's cocky, she's arrogant. And when she became the Black Panther in the comics, she was really not trying to listen to anybody. So this version here is, like Hannah said, more collaborative, than T'Challa, and more social. It feels weird to say, but she kind of feels like more of a teenager here than in the movie.
Yeah.
Because we get a sense that, oh, you have friends and you hang out and you're on TikTok all the time.
In some ways, it also kind of feels like she's been protected from some of the darker things.
Yes.
She's definitely been sort of shielded from some of the harder stuff.
And she's more, I think, optimistic. And T'Challa, again, this is a dude who, I think, as the embodiment of Wakanda, right? Like, he takes some of those ideals to heart a lot more than in other iterations. So, he's a lot more isolationist than, other versions of T'Challa from the comic and the movie. I also think he's a lot more angry, with good reason. But and that anger comes out in different ways. T'Challa,
Want to make Ultimate Thor
mostly in
solid
latter-day interpretations of.
Bro, y'all just naming black cartoon characters now.
Written and
we already established. Looks like the dude from Soul.
Control, but
That's it.
I think that's true of this version. But when he gets angry, you know it and you feel it.
Definitely.
And it feels deeply felt.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. In terms of Okoye's character, the comics were kind of essential for understanding her as a person and understanding the Dora Milaje. There's some really, really excellent stuff in Ta-Nehisi's run about the Dora Milaje and who they are and what their role is. And I think we drew a lot of that into Okoye's character as well as other Dora Milaje that show up in the game. I didn't know. From the movie, you get a very sort of one-dimensional view of who Okoye is and what her relationship with T'Challa is like. But in the comics, it's so much more layered than that because there's this whole weight of the Dora Milaje's history again that influences who they are and what their role was in Wakanda. Originally, they were potential wives for the Black Panther, and that's part of the honorifics and things that they use with Black Panther. So there's that kind of that's not the way it is anymore, but there's that sort of very like relationship between like the Dora Milaje and their panther has a particular weight to it that was really fun to play with in terms of Okoye, of how much can she question what T'Challa does and how much does she still, she's meant to serve the Black Panther, she's meant to protect the Black Panther. So there's sort of that dynamic of, we don't want her to be too disrespectful, but also it's Okoye, so she
sometimes you really should listen to me, Mike.
Exactly. So yeah, that was a really fun balance to come up with, and just getting to read all of the Dora Milaje stuff in the comics. They're so cool. I'm such a fan of them. I hope we get to do more with them. And then from T'Challa and Shuri, I think we've kind of talked around that a lot. I think Shuri's been really fun to include, just in terms of how she relates to the other Avengers too, because that's quite different. Not all of the Avengers in our game have necessarily met or been in Wakanda in other iterations like Kamala, and so getting to sort of see how T'Challa would react to Kamala and Shuri would react to Kamala has been pretty fun because she's such a fangirl and she's so earnest, and it's a little bit different than how Tony Stark reacts to Wakanda.
Yeah.
That's awesome. All right, so this is from a player, Pewter Odin. What is both of your favorite parts of working on the expansion? I know, all these
I know Pewter.
weird spoilery territory things that you gotta weave around.
I think for me, my favorite part was getting to figure out what T'Challa's opinion is of the other Avengers. To figure out how he would feel about these various characters after A-Day and how he would feel about the decisions they made after A-Day and what decisions they're making now has been really, really fun to figure out because it's different depending on which hero he's talking to. And we really there was a lot of discussions back and forth in the narrative chat of, okay, how would T'Challa feel about Tony who was living in a trailer, and how would he feel about
she answering
Kamala
questions
being a young teenager
because she works for Crystal Dynamics
so those are really
on the
fun
Black
things
Panther
to figure out is
story.
Specifically T'Challa's opinion on the various Avengers as they appear in our game.
Yeah, and
everyone here worked on this game,
Wakanda, right?
or works on the game in some way. That's why they're here.
Let's just say it's a mild crisis of faith for Tony.
Yep.
Still, he's not here.
But I thought I was smart.
Yeah.
I thought I had cool stuff. Well, you do.
But also, can you share all this cool stuff with me?
Don't put the they're on.
Yeah.
Oh no, he's gonna get
And
roasted.
the response to that is probably what you expect.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, T'Challa and Shuri are gonna see. They're gonna have rivalry with some characters. They're gonna have camaraderie with others. They're
Big Layla hates her forehead.
Impressed by some of the capabilities that these other characters bring to bear. So it's very much a getting to know you kind of dynamic. For a lot
I think
of
Layla hates everyone.
That was really fun.
Yeah.
Layla really hates the word female though.
Yeah, that's okay. I will say
nothing quite triggers her like
but
that.
I think my favorite hero in Wakanda is Thor. So keep an eye out for for Thor's thoughts on Wakanda.
Interesting.
I didn't write those. That was Keanu and Jess. But they were.
Want to see BBQ put on a costume
they're
designer?
pretty much my favorite.
Facts.
Shout out to Keanu and Jess.
Yes.
And Nicole.
And Nicole.
What, really female? Yeah, it was a whole thing on Twitter.
All right.
She came for Lejeune.
We have a question from Carrot Scraps. This one looks like it's more for you, Evan. As a consultant, how do you guide writers making a new take on an
He thinks it's
existing
sexist.
character without stepping on existing work and retreading ground while keeping the character's core true?
So, I think, the comics and the original source material are always the foundation, right? And part of engaging with the comics is acknowledging that they themselves have evolved, right? Like T'Challa, as a personality, his history has evolved over the decades, right? Like Hannah said,
They look like she tortured small animals as a
the
child.
logic were understood one way, but now they're understood another way, right? So, keeping that sense of evolution in mind, I think definitely frees up people who are adapting these characters into new mediums to.
Like, she was legit mad about it.
Like, the point is to tell a fresh story, find a new angle, and when I was working on the Miles Morales game, part of it was, okay, what makes Miles Morales different than Peter Parker, And with this project, it was, okay, what makes this version of T'Challa, this version of Wakanda different than the other things we've seen before, right? But how can we also nod at, those other histories, those other stories of Wakanda that we've
said his head looked like an exclamation point.
Does a really good job with it. There's
Wow.
things about, like, Wakandan history that are the same kind of beats historically, but like are made manifest in the game. Like I'm talking like physically as certain locations and whatnot. That's very different than the comics have done. And there's a few.
Layla still tortures animals.
That's really smart. Y'all thought about this. So part of it was just, again, supporting that work, and like Hannah said before, pushing a little bit. Okay, remember this character is also this. Like here's one way their relationship.
I just got a shout out to Twitch feed.
Could turn. So it's always finding a balance between acknowledging the history and the foundation that you're stepping off of, but also like looking upwards and outwards to where else you can take it, right? You're always carrying that history with you, right? And for a character like T'Challa, who again literally is the embodiment of a whole country's history and ideals, like that's such an important thing to keep hold of. And I think we tried our best on it.
Definitely.
I don't know why, but you want to be friends
so
with them?
we're like past 11. I know everyone is busy, but before I have one like really
I definitely want to chill with Evan for sure.
Before we get there,
we go. That was
if
Twitch.
you guys, everyone in chat wants to read more about it, go to our Entertainment Weekly article where they
You throw Layla
interviewed
the D?
Judge,
I would not.
Narcisse, and Hannah, all three of them. And I just want to clarify that the 25 hours does include the base game, the Reassemble campaign, Operations, War for Wakanda, and we can't wait for you guys to play
Heavy
that.
is the
But
head that wears the
before we
crown.
end, both of you, what do you guys want players to take or to get out of playing War for Wakanda?
For me, like whenever I think about Wakanda, like from a story perspective, but also like a meta perspective, it's like the symbolism of what this place represents, right? Like Black achievement, Black excellence, the spirit to endure and thrive in a world that doesn't often want to understand you or respect you. To do that anyway, that's what Wakanda realizes. That Wakanda is a realization of that idea. And we definitely tried to home in on that too, like
Oops.
T'Challa's personality and the way he embodies his role as king is definitely a result of that kind of thinking, right?
How'd that get there?
Also,
My hand slipped.
the thing that I think this story has in common with Rise of the Black Panther is how do you present all of that to the world, in a way that encourages collaboration and partnership versus fear and suspicion and greed. So I think there's like a meta narrative about what Wakanda means and symbolizes to people that you can also embed in the text itself, and I think we really tried to do that.
Yeah.
They're never
I
going to
think
answer
for
my
me,
questions.
I want people to see the layers that exist for Wakanda that I think not everyone is
That
aware of,
Frozone,
just by
hold
virtue
up.
of the movie being the most sort of popular thing. But there's a lot of really interesting layers to Wakanda in terms of the politics, in terms of the different tribes, in terms of the different roles in the government. You know, Wakanda is not one monolithic thing, and I think that's part of what makes it so much a source of hope, like Chris Judge said, which I almost cried when he said that. This I want people to see that Wakanda is not just one thing. It means a lot of things for different people. And I hope that by the end of it, it's sort of stuck with you too, that Wakanda has left a mark on you as well. I think that would make me really happy.
Aw. Okay. That's amazing. That is all the time we have.
Say look like
thank you guys for
Frozone.
joining us. Thank you, chat, for tuning in. We have a lot more to show for Wakanda, a lot more to blogs, streams, all that stuff going into the future before we launch, and we can't wait for you guys to get in. Yeah, I guess that's it. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, Evan, so much for everything. We are so happy to have you. I am also a fan. I keep telling everyone this. Sorry if it's creepy, by the way. I'm just
Y'all-
But yeah, I'm a
Bro,
huge
y'all
comic book
messed
nerd,
up.
so same
Y'all
thing.
wrong for
Thank you
that.
so much for coming on here and for just consulting our team and everything. We're
It's been a
honored.
ton of fun. I can't wait to dig into this expansion and see it all come to life. And I hope everybody enjoys it. And thank you guys for having me on.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you.
everyone.
All right, everybody.
Bye.
Take care. Have a good
Bye.
weekend.
Bro, y'all wrong. Bro, they literally just cut the stream right off after that. They didn't even raid nobody. They're like, "Look, let's get out of here before they ask us any questions." So that was the dev stream. they got out of there with the quickness. They saw people was about to start asking about cosmetic vendor, MCU skins, the OLT. They're like, nope, thanks everyone, bye bye, Wakanda forever. they got out of there, bro. Nope, they usually take the time to raid somebody at the end of the stream. They're like, nope, bye. I try to hate, but as soon as Chris left, they went into no clue. Chris Judge was literally the only thing holding that stream together to keep it a buck. It was like Chris was the dad. He's all of our fathers, and we were on our best behavior. As soon as he leave, we have no respect for mom, so we just start acting up. They definitely pieced out. It was a decent stream. The Chris Judge portion was quite decent. I do like Evan, but yeah, most of it, unfortunately for Evan, his portion of the stream was dominated by jokes about his head. Unfortunately, I don't have any updates, but yeah, that was literally. So yeah. The hell show was great. Outside of Chris Judge, that was the best part of the whole stream. just people roasting this man's head. But I love how these streams always bring people together, especially when it comes to Black Panther. All the haters show up to show their support for the game that they claim to not like. It's beautiful. Yeah, So what's coming next week for the game? I mean, that would have been awesome if they took maybe 2 minutes to give an update on next week, since there are only 2 weeks left in the month and they have a major content drop that's due. You buy a unicorn and make Layla cosplay Yen from Witcher. You got that, bro. Not for me. The disrespectfulness is real. You're unsubscribing to the channel. Thank you for the time you spent on my channel, Jose. I think I'm first time I'm seeing you in the chat, but okay, don't care. Go with your principles. If you don't like humor, this is definitely not the channel for you, bro. Go to eat lunch. All right. So if they're not going to have, since obviously they don't, so I would expect next week to once again be nothing, because if they had something to tell us, they would. That's why they ended the stream early, because they have nothing to say at all. What's up, JRP? The unicorn would be for foreplay. Yeah, I don't want any play with Layla whatsoever. Don't be mad at Jose. He was triggered by us having fun. Apparently. He doesn't like fun. That's okay. Fun isn't for everybody. What did y'all learn today? We learned that Chris Judge is awesome. That's what we learned. We knew that already, but it was reinforced. No, I don't think we're going to be playing. I don't think we're getting anything. Like I told people before, I think I was telling Doom this. He was thinking like the next week for the OLT. I'm thinking they're going to cram everything into the last week of July. Because if they had something, they would have updated us today. And they're not going to have a blog or anything until Thursday, so I'm not expecting any announcements until next week, at least Thursday. Yeah, man, get y'all hype. Being awesome people get us hype. I know when you see men in games, that makes you run away. You're afraid they're going to tell you to pull up and 1v1 you. Evan would be good friends. Evan sounds very cool. And he has an excellent art collection. Think they're going to delay the OLT again? That's definitely a possibility. But unless it's actually bugged, that would be a very stupid decision. And I appreciate it, Dan. The OOT though, as long as it's functional, they should just release it. Like the difficulty tuning is what it is at this point. Just put it out. But like I said, I'm guessing it was going to be the last week of the month anyway. Probably the same for the deep dive. I appreciate you, Integrity. Do I think Black Panther? Do I think Chadwick would have voiced BP? Probably not. They don't usually have. It's rare for like to have like the actual actors do voice work for like the game, for games that's based on their work. I would be surprised, and I don't think they could afford it. They could afford them anyway. PvP in this game would be hilarious. Can you give you a quick recap of the stream? Yeah, Chris Judge talked about his experience recording Black Panther and becoming the role, diving into the role, and the story consultant Evan came on and we made fun of the shape of his head for 30 minutes. Did the stream. But I was definitely glad to hear from Chris Judge, because Chris Judge is awesome. Nolan North and Chris Judge, absolutely. I'm not. Do I wish that we got some actual, information about the upcoming content? Absolutely. But I'm still quite satisfied with today. Chris Judge was as awesome as I expected, and Evan's segment was much more hilarious than I anticipated. Have to include some of the head jokes in the recap. Honestly, I don't think I can do a recap vid. Because I usually do a recap vid when there's like more information to go on. The only thing I could do for the recap would be to talk about the info we got. The only info we got this week was that Chris Judge was going to be Black Panther's voice actor, which we've known since last year, which I told everybody he was going to be on last week, and we got some new images. That's there was otherwise there really wasn't noteworthy. He would clown to do for his head after stream. That's exactly what happened. Tried to stop him, but the chat was just ruthless. You think he saw them roasting? I don't know if he could see the chat. I mean, the Twitch chat was okay for the most part, but no, this chat most certainly not. Hope he was not watching my stream. Show the soul guy again. But this guy. What color are Shuri's panties? That's inappropriate. Isn't she a teenager in this version of the game? I think I heard Evan bring that up at some point during his answers. I can't be sure because we were very busy laughing at his expense. After Black Panther releases, what content comes after? So after Black Panther, they have to do the claw raid, the Wakandan mine. It's going to be that's going to be a mega level threat. They're also going to release cloning labs, patrol mode, and then the Jamie Foxx should be Black Panther in game. He looks nothing like him. And I don't know if he could do the voice. He is pretty good with voices. Do you think they will have Black Panther's MCU costumes? Yeah. Well, one. I don't think they're going to do two. He was asking what content is coming out after Black Panther. Patrol mode is one of the included pieces of content because it got delayed. It was supposed to come out. Remember, Patrol mode was supposed to come out in July, but they had to delay it because it wasn't ready, clearly, from what we can see from the teaser trailer. So they pushed it back to after Wakanda. So does anyone know if he was sharing some information that we would want to know about, or does comments get drowned out by his head jokes? Yes. What's up, Spirit of Paradox? Honestly, most of the if you listen to the questions that they asked, which I was paying attention to, they specifically were answering questions and asking questions mostly about their experience working on the game and the character of Black Panther and Wakanda, while avoiding telling us anything about the actual DLC itself. What's up, Cloud? You missed a lot of head jokes. That's about it. I had a great time. I enjoyed the stream. We need some more game mode. You mean patrol mode? Yeah, we know they're working on it, but it got delayed. Game is on its last breath. That's we're trying to hang on. I mean, it is one of the top 10 best-selling games on PlayStation 5, so it's doing something right. We'll just have to see how good the Wakanda expansion is to see how far it can go from there. Does Layla really look that expressionless every stream? Every single stream, without question. Very, very little change. Yes. That is pretty much her default expression. Am I playing Marvel's Avengers? Actually, no. I'm getting out of here early. I got some other stuff to do today, but I wanted to make sure I got that coverage in. Got up bright and early to make sure I can do this, but it was nice. What's all the drama around Layla about? Which bit? People generally just make fun of her because she clearly looks like she doesn't want to be there every time she's there. And there was also this whole Twitter dust up when she got mad because another Marvel's Avengers content creator said the word female, which apparently really offended her. So people were dunking on her a bit for that. Are they going to fit the whole roster on the main menu after all the new heroes release? I would assume they're just going to position them differently. They got room. Besides, we don't know how big the roster is actually going to get. I'm not expecting like 20 heroes in the next year. Did she go in on them that bad? It was pretty bad, yeah. The ones that could fly should save space. I can see them having Captain Marvel hover. All you want to do is use Spider-Man and fight Ultron. Those are noble pursuits that will come eventually. The expressionless woke. Yep, pretty much sums it up. What about Super Adaptoid? It will be released when it's released. They did not give us an update. They did not give us anything about the game apart from the story of how all these people worked on Wakanda. So we're probably waiting for the Thursday blog / Friday dev stream next week for information about it. You missed the whole stream. You were busy. What's a quick sum up? Chris Judge is dope. Evan, the story guy, has a weird shaved head. That's the stream. As they have more content, the characters will be harder to create because of all the new gear they did with the content. But she's a female though. That is correct. Hence everyone's confusion. Or Spider-Man on the main menu, you can see him hanging upside down. That would be cool. You might identify. Nope, she's a female. And she identifies as such. But being honest, that Black Panther suit is kind of bad. I disagree. You're in the minority there. Was there a blog? Yes, there was. The blog had some more information about changes they're making to the priority mission, as well as the multiplayer Mega Hive. They're basically reducing the amount of priority missions weekly to 1, and they're going to let the exotics drop from there, and then they're going to have hive mind exotics just drop from the weekly Mega Hive. Odds on a LeBron and Looney Tunes expansion. Since this is not Fortnite, 0. Yeah, June said nothing wrong at all. It was very silly. They're releasing it toward the end of August. It makes sense to begin the hype for it, and it looks super bad when he's fighting in cutscenes. I think it looks great in every instance I've seen it in. No complaints for the suit. Marvel Future fight and mobile games are better than Avengers. They're definitely not. Those games are garbage. Those games are complete and utter garbage. They're literally only good for playing dress up with your favorite Marvel characters, and they know that, which is why they put so much effort into the cosmetics, because they want your money. Those games are just money. Those games are money traps. Loot from Meg Hives, indeed. You mean La China James? I love Fortnite. Yeah, it sounds like the hero sets are the hero set exotics sound like they're dropping from the priority mission, and the Mega Hive is dropping hive mind exotics. What's my personal opinion of the chance Scarlet Witch will be a playable character? She's popular. She's in the MCU. She was in the game files, so decent odds that she'll appear, that they intend to put her in a game. Less decent odds that the game will last long enough for her to even come to the game. Marvel Studios is not a game developer. They could not make a better game than anybody. They could license their products. They can license their IP to game developers, which they do. And they do it indiscriminately for the most part. I think we should get animated suits. How do you follow Layla on Twitter? I think I'm pretty sure her account is private. No, Marvel Studios is not a game developer. No, they represent the Marvel product. They license it to people, to companies, who then and tell them how they can use their property, and then those companies do the work. Yeah. Sometimes you get a great classic Marvel product out of it, like Insomniac Spider-Man games. Other times you don't. So that's just what it is. Hoodie Hawk. I definitely don't mind. I definitely would not mind an all hoodie team. I'm not gonna hold you. Heard they only put new characters in the game who are in the MCU. I mean that's pretty much what they've been doing. Well, technically not, because Kamala hasn't been in the MCU yet. But yeah, their choice for characters definitely is MCU focused. Kamala Khan, upcoming Disney Plus show. Kate Bishop and Hawkeye, upcoming Disney Plus show. She-Hulk, upcoming Disney Plus show. Winter Soldier just had a Disney Plus show. The only character that they're adding to the game who hasn't had a Disney Plus show are Black Panther, Spider-Man, and Captain Marvel. Kang the Conqueror. Yeah. Everybody that watches the MCU immediately comes to Marvel's Avengers and says, yeah, we need this MCU character that I just saw in this game. And I'm like, they should just keep doing what they're doing. they can't just shoehorn every new character that pops up into the MCU. Thought War Machine was in the files. War Machine was not only in the files, he was developed very heavily. But for whatever reason, his development has paused, I think at the voice acting phase, according to Miller. Quake isn't in the MCU. Well, yeah, the canon status of the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. characters is up in the air, but Quake was in the game files when they data mined them last summer. Yeah, I definitely hope this game lasts long enough to have Doctor Strange. That's the only character I want. She's rumored to appear in a Secret Invasion. I would be surprised if they don't bring Quake back for something. Like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was definitely canon. It definitely was canon at one point, but they could obviously decide to retcon it, especially with all the multiversal shenanigans. When is the Omega level threat dropping? Soon. Do you think they will do an Inhuman route? What, in the MCU? No, they're staring very clear away from the MCU. The Inhuman route, the MCU is so far staying very much away from the Inhuman angle, especially now that and they don't have to do it anyway because they have the license from Fox now. They own Fox now, so they can do the X-Men. They don't need Inhumans. The only reason they did the Inhuman angle in the first place was because they didn't have the license to use the X-Men. But they wanted to have mutant type characters, so they went with the Inhumans. But now they don't need them. All right, Jordan, have a good one. How long before Hawkeye do we get the deep dive? So Hawkeye was announced, I think, the end of January. His deep dive was like towards the end of February, and he released like March 18th. Bro, Miss Marvel's coming out later this year. They're doing Inhumans. Actually, the latest rumor from the latest reports from the set of Miss Marvel says that they're actually not doing Inhumans whatsoever. They're saying that they're going to have Miss Marvel get her powers from her bracelets rather than the Terrigen. They're going to go with like a magic. I'm hearing it's going to be like a magic bracelet angle rather than her getting her powers from the Inhumans. Abraham Lincoln once said, "I got 500. Thanks, Dad, for the 5. Appreciate you." Hear me out. They add Thanos with Thanos Copter. I mean, that's not wrong. Mainly because of the Thanos Copter. Punisher game. I think they've had one before on older consoles. I wouldn't mind a next gen Punisher game. I don't think we should have any more Spider-Man characters added to the game. One was more than enough, and they shouldn't have added that one. If they had to make it a PlayStation exclusive, they should have just went with another character. I don't think it was worth it. I would have much rather have had a Wanda or a Doctor Strange DLC than to divide the player base and turn people away from the game because you wanted to take Sony's money. Am I doing Avengers gameplay? Oh, hold on. What time is it? Oh yeah, I gotta get out of here. But thank you guys for tuning in to this was a very entertaining stream. I appreciate all of you once again. I will be back streaming this game on Tuesday, and maybe if there's more information, I'll have a weekly recap, but I'll definitely be back streaming on Tuesday. Everybody be safe, have a good weekend. I usually play the game a little bit, but I do have some business to handle. But thank you guys once again. Have a good one. Be safe.